The day my son graduated from high school, I stood in the showroom of Manhattan's most exclusive automotive dealer, staring at a car worth more than most people's homes. The sales manager was practically levitating with excitement. I'd been on the waiting list for 18 months, ever since my son Ethan had shown me the magazine spread of the new Sterling Spectre. "Your wife called," the manager said, beaming. "She picked it up yesterday. Said it was for a special young man's graduation. Your son must be thrilled." I stood in the empty showroom bay where the car had been, the Sterling Spectre, midnight blued, twin-turbo V12.0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. I had waited 18 months for this car. I had paid $700,000 for it, and my wife had given it to someone else. "I'm sure he is," I said, my voice calm. "Can you pull up the delivery paperwork? I'd like to see who signed for it." The manager hesitated. "Is there a problem, Mr. Vance?" "No problem. Just a paperwork discrepancy. I'm sure it's nothing." He pulled up the digital file. The signature on the delivery form was my wife's, Celeste Vance, formerly Celeste Ashford, the woman I had married 23 years ago when I was a young man with nothing but ambition and a patent for a technology the world didn't yet know it needed. And next to her signature, the recipient name, Xiaoyang. Xiaoyang. The name hit me like a punch. I knew that name. He was one of my wife's charity students, a program she had started 5 years ago to mentor underprivileged youth. She had a soft spot for bright young men from disadvantaged backgrounds. She called it philanthropy, and I had called it a midlife crisis disguised as altruism. I should have paid closer attention. "Thank you," I said to the manager. "I'll take it from here." I walked out of the dealership into the June sunshine. My phone buzzed. A text from my son. "Dad, is the car here yet? Mom said she'd pick it up for me this morning, but she's not answering her phone." I stared at the message. "My son, Ethan, valedictorian of his class. Accepted to Stanford, the kindest, most hardworking kid any father could ask for." He had spent the past year living on instant noodles and energy drinks, grinding through AP classes and college applications, and the car was my gift to him, a reward, a symbol of how proud I was. And his mother had given it to a 22-year-old charity case she'd known for 18 months. I called my wife. She answered on the fourth ring, her voice breathless and distracted. "Adrian, I can't talk right now. I'm in the middle of something." "Where's the car, Celeste?" A pause. "The car? What car?" "The Sterling Spectre, the $700,000 limited edition supercar that I pre-ordered 18 months ago as a graduation gift for our son. The one you picked up from the dealership yesterday. Where is it?" She was floundering. I could hear it in her voice, the way her breath caught, the way her words stumbled. "Adrian, I can explain. Xiaoyang, he's never had anything. His family came here with nothing. He works 3 jobs to put himself through community college, and he's graduating to, I thought we could give him something special. Something that would show him that hard work pays off." "Hard work pays off," I repeated. "So does betrayal, apparently. Where are you right now?" I'm at the country club. We're having a small celebration luncheon for Xiaoyang. His mother is here, his grandmother, some of his classmates. Please don't make a scene. Adrian, please. We can discuss this at home. "Don't make a scene," I said. "You took our son's graduation gift and gave it to your charity student lover, and you're telling me not to make a scene." "He's not my lover. He's like a son to me." "Asshole. You've known him for 18 months. You've known Ethan for 18 years, and you chose Xiaoyang." I hung up that I sat in my car, my old car, a sensible Mercedes sedan that I'd driven for 6 years because I was saving the fund for my son, and I thought about my marriage, the 23 years. 23 years of building an empire together, raising a son, weathering storms. I had built Ashford Technologies from a garage startup into the world's largest AI software company. Celeste had been there from the beginning, handling the books, charming the investors, playing the role of the perfect corporate wife, and somewhere along the way, the role had consumed the woman. She had stopped being my partner. She had become an institution, not a brand. A woman who lunched at the country club and chaired charity galas and mentored handsome young men from disadvantaged backgrounds while her own son ate instant noodles and waited for a father who was always working. Not anymore. I opened my laptop and began to type. I had been building a dossier on Celeste's indiscretions for 3 months, ever since a friend at the club had mentioned seeing her with Xiaoyang in compromising circumstances. I hadn't believed it at first. I had told myself it was gossip, jealousy, the petty cruelty of the idle rich, but I had hired a private investigator anyway. And the investigator had been very, very thorough. Photos, videos, hotel receipts, text messages, bank statements showing transfers from our joint account to Xiaoyang's personal account $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. My wife had been paying her charity student for services rendered. And then there were the photos. Celeste and Xiaoyang at a resort in the Maldives. Celeste and Xiaoyang at a private villa in Tuscany. Celeste and Xiaoyang in the back seat of the Sterling Spectre, the car I had bought for my son, their faces inches apart, her hand on his thigh. I printed the dossier. I made 2 copies. Then I got in my car and drove to the country club. The luncheon was being held on the terrace, overlooking the 18th green .30 guests, champagne, caviar, a 3-tier cake with "Congratulations, Xiaoyang," piped in gold letters. And in the center of it all, my wife and her charity student standing side by side, their hands almost touching. I walked onto the terrace. The conversation stopped. Every head turned. "Adrian," Celeste said, her voice high and brittle. "What are you doing here?" "I came to see the celebration." I walked toward her, and the crowd parted. This is quite a party, for quite a young man. "Dad." Ethan's voice. I turned. MY's son was standing at the edge of the terrace, his face pale, his eyes fixed on the midnight blue supercar parked in the club's circular drive. "Dad, that's my car." "That's the Spectre. Why is it here? Why does it have a giant red bow on it that says, 'Congratulations, Xiaoyang'?" "Your mother decided to give it to someone else," I said. "To Xiaoyang, her charity student, her very special, very expensive charity student." The terrace went very quiet. Celeste's face went white. "Adrian, please." "I'm not finished." I pulled out the dossier and tossed it onto the table. Photographs spilled out like accusations. Celeste and Xiaoyang in the Maldives. Celeste and Xiaoyang in Tuscany. Celeste and Xiaoyang in the car, his hand on her thigh, her wedding ring glinting in the camera flash. "This is my wife," I said to the assembled guests. "And this is her charity student. She's been paying him for the past 18 months. With my money, she's been traveling with him, sleeping with him. And now she's given him a car I bought for my son, the car I waited 18 months for, the car I paid $700,000 for." Xiaoyang stepped forward, his face twisted with anger. "Mr. Vance, I don't know what you think you know, but Celeste and you're over," I said. Effective immediately. "Celeste, you're cut off. The joint accounts are frozen. The credit cards are canceled. The cars, including the one you're standing next to, are in my name, and they're coming home with me." "You can't do this." Celeste's composure shattered. "I'm your wife. I helped build this company. I'm entitled to." "You're entitled to nothing. The company is mine. The patents are mine. The fortune is mine. You are my wife. You are my partner. But you chose to betray me with a man half your age, and you chose to steal from our S.O., and S.O. now you get to live with the consequences." I turned to Xiaoyang. "And you think you're the first charity student my wife has taken an interest in. She's been doing this for years. You're just the latest in a long line. And when she's done with you, when the money runs out and the excitement fades, she'll discard you too. Enjoy the car. It's the last thing she'll ever give you." I walked toward the exit. Ethan followed me, his face still pale. "Dad, the car. What about the car?" I stopped. I looked at the Sterling Spectre, its midnight blue paint gleaming in the sun, its red ribbon fluttering in the breeze. "The car belongs to you. S.O. and IT always did. We'll have the ribbon changed." I got in the Mercedes. Ethan got in beside me. And we drove away from the country club, away from his mother's betrayal, away from the wreckage of a marriage that had been dead long before I was ready to admit it. The divorce was swift and merciless. Celeste tried to contest it, but the evidence was overwhelming. She walked away with nothing. No alimony, no assets, no stake in the company she had helped build. She moved into a one-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood far from the country club. The last I heard, she was working as a receptionist at a dental office, her designer wardrobe sold piece by piece to pay her legal bills. Xiaoyong didn't get to keep the car. The Sterling Spectre was repossessed within a week. It had been purchased with my money, under my name, and my wife had no legal right to give it away. He disappeared from the country club scene. His brief taste of luxury vanished like smoke. The last I heard, he was back to working 3 jobs, his dreams of a sugar mama-funded lifestyle crushed. Ethan went to Stanford and drove the Spectre across the country. He sent me a photo from the Golden Gate Bridge, the car gleaming in the California sun, a wide grin on his face. Best graduation gift ever, Dad. Thank you. I kept the photo on my desk, and I never remarried.